for stopping by to see what I created in today's video. So I am focusing on my Craft Roulette card, and it was for Craft Roulette episode number 214. And I'll just go ahead and pull in the card, and then we can talk about each of the parameters. So here is my card. And the first thing was the project had to be an appreciation card. Well, it didn't have to be a card. It just said appreciation. So I have thanks, and I'm using the dies for that comes from the Amazing Thanks. And it has the shadow, so I did that in the very vanilla. And my thanks is the Calypso Coral, which is also my card base. Then my mat is crushed curry. And the paper that I'm using is called Inked Botanicals. So let's see, I think that was all for that. So we've got the appreciation. It says thanks on the front, and then on the inside it says your thoughtfulness is greatly appreciated. And I pulled that from a really old set that I have called Many Thanks. And I was trying to take some off the block, and so this is very old, but I love it. So that's what I used for that. Then the colors had to be candlelight colors. Well, when you have a candlelight, you have the yellows and the reds, and basically just the candle light itself. So that's the focus that I went with. And so when I thought about those colors, that's why I picked this paper, because of those colors that are in there. And then the element had to be leave it to ... Well, in my case, I'm leaving it to Crafty to create another great printable for us to use. And this was from this month's printable, and I decided I would go with it because the next parameter was called, the random had to be retiform. And I thought this kind of looked like a retiform because it's different shapes and sizes on the back, but I went ahead and went a little further with it. So on the middle part here, normally it's just a piece of designer paper. So what I did was I took a piece of that designer paper, and here was the fun part. So I was able to use only this one sheet of paper, because then here's the back side that I used. And using just the one sheet for one card, and all that I did with that paper on this card, this is all I had left. So I love that when I don't have that much leftovers. And so what I did with that designer paper in the middle was I cut it up in different shapes for the retiform. And then I did some sponging on the parts that were going to be laid up against that little border there. So I did some sponging of the crushed curry in those areas. And then I glued them down to a piece of the Calypso Coral cardstock, leaving that little bit of gap there. And that's how I decided to create my retiform. And then because I wanted to try to use most of the designer paper, I decided to stamp that sentiment right directly on some more of that paper and punched it out with my oval punch, and then did some sponging around the edges there with that crushed curry like I did on this part. And then I had that piece at the bottom, and I thought, you know what, might as well take that retiform and also cut it up and add it there at the bottom for a different look. So that's what I did. And I thought that turned out really cute. So there we go. I think I've got all my parameters covered this week. And then I stamped my Handmade by Choose Joy with Carmen on the back in Calypso Coral. So I think I've covered it all. I hope you enjoyed my card this week. And if you did, you can show me your joy by giving this video a thumbs up. And until my next video, remember, choose joy, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.